Dude, that was a boss fight.
Oh shit!
I got killed.
It's up to you. It's up to you, Mitch. Mitch, please.
Oh, baby, there it is.
The teammate can't get me up because of a bug. Look how many arrows he has shot at me. Dude, the mechanics are so okay.
They're so above par.
Dude, it's so all right.
I regret buying it, and I'm still enjoying playing through with my friends, but there are some serious problems with this game.
I mean, there's gonna be people that love this, but to me, it needs to be worked on more from this point.
Elden Ring Night Rain is definitely one of the video games of all time. Before you get the wrong idea, this isn't a hit piece on the game. It's not a bad game. It's not broken, and it's not even particularly frustrating. It's just kind of okay, which is weird to say about a FromSoft game, because if there's one thing FromSoft is known for, it's making bold, genre-defining experiences. Games that punch you in the face and then whisper lore in your ear while you're on the ground. But Elden Ring Night Rain feels like the first real attempt to color outside of the usual lines they do. And they kind of smudged it. Gone is the sprawling open world. In its place are smaller, randomized zones that shift with every single run. It's not bad, and it can even be interesting, but it trades the sense of place that made Elden Ring feel mythic for something that feels, well, a little more like a video game, less discovery, more checkboxes. The class system, the co-op structure, the roguelike elements, none of it is awful, but it all feels like a little restrained. Sort of like the game is holding back, unsure whether it wants to fully commit to the new format or just repurpose old ideas with a fresh coat of fog. And yeah, it's $40, and that's reasonable, but when you're coming from Elden Ring, Sekiro, Bloodborne, and even Shadow of the Erdtree, the bar isn't reasonable. The bar is mind-blowing. Night Rain doesn't trip over that bar. It just walks calmly under it and just keeps going. It's a solid experiment for sure, and it shows potential. But coming from this studio with this legacy, Solid leaves a weird taste in the mouth. This is definitely a video game. So, Elden Ring Night Rain is a glorified runback. I'm not even kidding. If I offended you by saying that, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. Remember those long, annoying treks back to Gwendolyn and Dark Souls? You know, the ones where it felt like punishment for just playing the game wrong? Now imagine that concept, but wrapped in a co-op roguelike shell, dipped in Elden Ring aesthetics, and sold as a feature. That's the core of Night Rain. That's the main gimmick. It's timed progression. You and two other friends are dropped into a cursed world and given 2 in-game nights to get strong, gear up, and reach the final boss. If you don't, you start over, completely, from scratch. Is that a fucking punishment or what? Who designed this fight? What 5-year-old designed this? And no, it's not just 1 or 2 levels. That is the structure of the game. And to its credit, it does try to disguise it with randomized zones, some permanent unlocks, quasi-shortcuts, but under all that, it's still one big sprint towards a boss door you might not even reach if you fuck around too long. So you start out as a level 1 grunt, scraping through with a stick and a prayer, and if things go well, you can climb your way up all the way to being a level 15 god, essentially turning into a walking nuke by the time you hit the final night. The power curve in this game is one of the better parts of it, honestly. You can feel yourself evolving, assuming you survive long enough to enjoy it. And along the way, you'll fight all kinds of bosses from past Souls games. Nameless King makes a return, and yes, he's still the Nameless King. Still majestic, still difficult, and still making you wonder what your defense stat actually does. And while those returning faces might be fun for nostalgia's sake, they also start to feel like shortcuts. The brand new bosses are good, visually cool, mechanically solid, but they're basically the only fresh enemy designs in the whole game. And then there's the circle, the corruption, whatever you want to call it. It's a slowly closing noose around every single run, pushing you forward like the world's angriest GPS. I wonder where I've seen this before. Constantly running, looting, scrambling, because if you stop moving for too long, you die? Huh, I get it. They're trying to stop players from farming forever and steamrolling the final boss. That's totally understandable. But what it actually does is force you to speedrun everything like your life depends on it. Because it does. The urgency makes every decision you make feel more stressful than it does strategic. So the real goal, race through the chaos, grab the best gear, hit the highest level you can, and pray you're ready for whatever boss is waiting for you at the tree. Oh, and yeah, there's class abilities too, but I'll get into that later. Look, Night Rain doesn't have any massive, deal-breaking flaws, just underwhelming ones. It's not broken, it's not offensively bad like Ride to Hell Retribution, and it's even kind of fun. Nice, repost. Boom. Easy. Let's get the fuck out of here. But something about it just feels off. Like it's a really well-made side project that accidentally got marketed like a main event. I don't know how this game isn't just an expansion pack for Elden Ring. I don't know. Let's start with the most obvious issue, enemy variety, more accurately, the lack thereof. Outside of the final bosses, almost every single enemy you fight in this game, you have seen before. You've dodged their attacks, parried their combos, and probably farmed them for runes 2 years ago. Unless you're the kind of person who claps every time you see a familiar enemy, like it's a Marvel cameo. It gets stale. It gets stale pretty fast. Then there is progression. During a run, things will feel great. You start weak, you gather power, and grow into this monster-slaying force of nature. It's like Elden Ring.
But wait! There's more!
You either die or beat it, and then you have to do that all over again. One mistake, all that power, all that effort, poof, it's back to square one, like none of it happened. It's really hard to feel invested when your character has the memory of a goldfish and the durability of wet toilet paper. Which brings me to the elephant in the room. This game feels like a battle royale. Whether you like it or not, or whether FromSoft wants to admit it or not, it has all the ingredients. A shrinking circle, scavenging for loot, a race to the center, and zero time to breathe. Like I said, where have I seen this before? And the only thing that carries over between runs is a couple of unlockable characters in these weak little modifiers called relics. And 80% of the time, they don't really matter. They're so minor, they feel like passive-aggressive patch notes.
So like we
I'm
get
playing my
nothing out of that. We just like
Yeah, we do.
absolutely
We
nothing.
get this.
What do we get?
Glintstone scraps in possession at the start of Expedition.
Merc.
Yeah, that was worth fighting 8 bosses for. It doesn't feel rewarding whatsoever. The progression feels more like checkboxes. Also, you can't equip whatever relics you want. Each character only gets access to certain relic types, and I get it. Some classes are built for tanking, others for casting, and for being a discount FPS character. But this is Elden Ring. It's an RPG. Why can't I build the character I'm given how I want to? Why is my magic class locked out of certain relics because some designer decided I'm not allowed to have fun? Now, here's the most glaring issue I've had. Randoms. If you're not playing with a friend, good luck. It's nearly impossible to coordinate with strangers unless you have telepathic powers or they somehow interpret your frantic emotes correctly. Where the fuck is teammate?
take us out.
He's just elsewhere.
I have no idea. He is gone.
And no, pinging doesn't really help because half the time they don't even notice because they don't have half a brain. You can ping a glowing church the size of a mountain and they'll still run off to a loot box that is 500 yards away. Communication isn't just helpful in a co-op game like this. It's mandatory. And they just didn't give us a way to talk. Why? No text chat, no voice, just emotes. And also, why am I forced to queue up with a random? Why can't I solo queue or run duos with a friend? Why is this not an option? But hey, they've already said that they're adding that in the future. Well, it's not here now, and it should have been. And while we're talking about teammates, can we fix the bug where your teammate just can't revive you? It's not a fun little buggy quirk, it's game breaking. And please, this isn't just FromSoft. Please stop censoring my name in video games. My name is Mitchell. It has the word hell in it. My name is not a slur. It's not offensive. That's just my name, please. All right, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about what Night Rain actually nails. First and foremost, the gameplay is phenomenal. The signature Elden Ring combat, it's still here, still satisfying, and still the reason I kept playing. The addition of double jumping and no fall damage is beautiful. It feels like the devs finally admitted that gravity doesn't need to be the hardest boss in the game. It opens up exploration in ways that feel fast, fluid, and especially in a game like this that is built around speedrunning. And those movement upgrades can tie directly into the character system, which, by the way, is one of the best things that Night Rain has going for it right now. Each class feels actually unique. They're not like just slightly different stats, but in a different costume. They actually have playstyle defining abilities. I didn't think I'd care, but yeah, I'm all for it. And I'm a Guardian in Wildermane now. I am fully converted. Those are like my favorite classes. I'd honestly love to see this character system evolve in future Souls games. Not as like a full-on hero shooter type of thing, but like giving the starting classes more identity and depth. That would go a long way in replay value, in my opinion. And if you don't want that in future Souls games, then you should simply have the option to just not use them. All right, also, let's talk bosses. The new boss designs are so fucking good. It's peak FromSoft creativity. Fast, intense, mechanically rich, and just plain fun. Every boss encounter made me sit up just a little bit straighter. My only complaint is there aren't more of them, which is kind of a compliment in disguise. And look, like I said, for $40, this is a solid package. You do get your money's worth. It's not half a game with a $20 patch. What you see is what you get. Speaking of value, there's no microtransactions, no weird monetization, no $5 dyes for your armor or premium rune packs. I shouldn't have to say that's a good thing, but in 2025, that's practically a miracle. Just you, the game, and your will to suffer. I also have to give credit where credit is due. The map design, it is dynamic and it is pretty cool. Depending on what you do, what choices you make, or what order you take on the objectives, the world can actually shift. Zones evolve, layouts change, and it's not the deepest system ever, but man, it is pretty damn neat. And it keeps things from getting too predictable too often. And finally, performance. Aside from the revival bug and the one crash that told me my frame rate was unacceptable, like it was personally offended by my graphics card, the game runs smooth. No major issues, no corrupted saves, just clean, stable gameplay. In this day and age, that alone deserves a gold star. I think Elden Ring Night Rain is a pretty decent game. It's fun, and it gives you those quick dopamine hits. And then it throws you back into the loop. Rinse, repeat, upgrade, die, repeat, and again. If you're into that rhythm, or you really love Elden Ring, you're probably going to have a good time with this game. Remember, a game being just good isn't the end of the world. It's good. Yeah, it's flawed in some aspects, reused enemies, occasional bugs, awkward multiplayer communication. None of that is ideal, but if you are a die-hard Elden Ring fan, chances are you're going to love Night Rain. It still feels like FromSoft at its core, just wearing a different set of clothes. It is clearly an experiment, and honestly, I respect that. It's not perfect, but it is bold, and that counts for something. Plus, there's no microtransactions. The class system is actually pretty good, and some of the boss designs are genuinely incredible. With future updates, this could easily shift from a decent spin-off to something great. As it stands, it's a good time, just not legendary. But hey, not every run has to be flawless, but to be worth the journey. And the journey is more important than the end or the start. But what do you guys think? Am I stupid for calling this game okay? Let me know down in the comment section below. Anyways, guys, it's going to do it for this video. If you liked the video, go ahead, hit like. And if you disliked it, of course, hit dislike. And if you're feeling generous enough, maybe even subscribe. All right, guys, I'm going to see you in the next one. See ya.